good feelings. So now so far he has talked about football, okay, Dynamo's visit to England and all that. Now he talks about other games like cricket, for example. Cricket is a very leisurely game, na? And at that period of time, one day or T20 was not introduced even. So it was the game of 5 days, 90 overs in a day or 100 overs in a day. So you can understand leisurely game, आराम से खेलने वाला game था. But what happened in 1921? He again cites another example. Look at that. Okay, look at his argument now. The main topic is not only football but other games like cricket. Cricket is a leisurely game. In that, what happened in 1921 when Australia visited England? All Australian fast bowlers targeted the body line bowling towards England players. Okay, so गेंद हमेशा बॉडी पे फेंकना, that is something that is called as negative bowling in general terms. Okay, which is again a form of a cheating and unfriendliness towards, or it is not, in consistency with the sporting spirit. And that had exactly happened in 1921 England and Australia cricket match, which was a leisurely test match, not even one day or T20 की उनको बचाना है और इसीलिए, no, it was happened in test match. And therefore the body line bowling attack was not consistent with sporting spirit. He again questioned the matter of sporting spirit. Where is the sporting spirit in that? Then he cites second example, cricket, boxing. Now what does he talk about boxing? It was very relevant at that period of time. Remember, this was written way back in 1944 when there were still some, I mean, large part of world was a colony of British or Dutch or French people. Okay, remember, white people, European people, and all these colonial people, I mean, living in colony people who were there, they were black people like Indian people. We are still brown people or colored people. Okay, not exactly black but colored people. That is how we are identify the white men. So if there had been a boxing or wrestling match between a player from South Africa or Sri Lanka or India, I mean then India, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and even Burma together. That was India at that period of time. So anybody from this, or from, let us say for example, some Negro from America, you would find boxing would the ring of boxing and the spectator would be turned into the fighting all the time, and you would find that there would be something that would be questionable as a sporting spirit. तो वो sport रहता ही नहीं था. I mean that was full for fight with each other. Okay, now is that only a question of games or the sports? He again gives another example and or another point. He says that not only this USA and England and Spain and French people have this problem. Okay, even young countries like Burma, that is Brahmadesh, India and Spain, all these people do have this kind of problem. So he has cited some examples in India and Burma. Then there were a football match between India and I mean Indian players and British people, and then in that he cites that there was cordons of police who used to protect the football field, and even after that the people from audiences came into the ground and they have somehow managed to blind the sight of the goalkeeper, and then goal was marked there. So it is again not again inconsistency with sporting spirit. Just given to give you an example, look at Lagan. Okay, India versus white people, black people versus white people, and then the entire how all the villages come together to watch, not only watch that, but look at their reaction, boastful reactions. Okay, as if their pride, everything is kept on to that. So this is one example or one another point that he's making. I think, do you have any lecture now?
No, sir, not yet.
Sure, so that we can.
सर 11:30 को है.
अच्छा, 11:30 को अभी 10:30 को. Okay, let's finish and then we'll begin with that. Okay, fine. Okay, then further he says that nowadays international sports are something that is modern cult. Cult is that when you try to project something as a great. Okay, so ये जो इंटरनेशनल स्पोर्ट्स है आजकल, ये मॉडर्न कल्ट है. दिस इज मॉडर्न kind of thing. In the olden days you would find there was no this kind of boastfulness. There was no boastfulness in olden days. Sports would be played just for the sake of entertainment, and there was no nationalism in that, or no hatred for each other in that. But in Middle Ages, if you look at some films, you would find that it was a very very savage killing of the people that would take place in Rome and Greek eras. But in modern times, it was never like that. It was USA and England who associated sports with. It is very very important point. These people, USA and England, because they were ruling nations, they anyhow managed to create one understanding that how sports and nationalism can be put together, and they invested very very importantly money into that. Okay, all premier luggages nowadays in which national teams does not take part. Remember, there would be cross national teams, national players who would be taking part in what particular team. Why do they play together? For sporting spirit or for money? Of course, for money. Look at the IPL nowadays. You would find in one particular team, person from New Zealand to England to India and all parts of the world. But do you think that they do it for their nation, or they are doing it for their friendliness among the public, or are they showing some message of peace out of that? No, they are doing it for money. And from where this money come? These people, England and Australian people do, England and USA people do know that if there is crowd there would be money, and if there is money, its cycle would go on, crowd and money. And for that they have put associated sports with nationalism. By that time when USA and England were ruling, no sports was having that much importance as a national pride or etc etc etc. Once they starting pouring money into this sporting event, and they find a large number of crowd is or can be introduced to the sport with the help of what? Nationalism. Remember, ये जो स्पोर्ट में नेशनलिज्म होता है वो कैसा आता है? क्राउड से आता है. और वो कौन कहता है कि दिस इज द प्राइड ऑफ नेशन? इट इज मीडिया. Who handled media? England and US, England and US, of course, and they anyhow were able to mobilize this idea that sports at international level are associated with your national integrity, and therefore there would be a lot of crowd, and this crowd would generate money. And who would be getting money? Of course, the USA or England people at that period of time. Now, what happened? They are replaced by the different boards of different nations, but the thing remains the same. Okay, nobody plays for friendliness, nobody tries to show the sporting spirit. Only one thing that would be at the center of the talk, that would be how much money one generates, and for other people, it is how much crowd that one particular TV channel would get on the basis of advertisement. And finally they all would be associated with nationalism. So this is how the business of sports usually works. I hope this point is also clear to you now. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how international ports are converted into nowadays a modern cult, or a scheme by which money, nationalism, and crowd are combined with each other in order to create more money. Now look at the TV channels which do broadcast all this thing, and look at their origin. Okay, first of all there was a BBC from England, then there was ESPN, it was European, Have you ever found any sports channel from Asia, South Africa, or Australia? You would never find it. Either it is based in USA or otherwise in England and in general Europe. The thing is that they have boosted money into that, and that was later on associated with the nationalism. So this point is again done with. Now here he makes a very remarkable point, that is, and that would prove his point. What point does he make? He says, with the rise of nationalism, once you are able to show people that your support to one particular team is your support to nation, what happens with lunatic modern habit of identifying oneself with a large power unit? So this happens because of what? It is our lunatic means without thinking, without giving any thought. This is quotation taken from the passage itself. Without giving any thought, this is an idea that we, if we endorse, we support one particular or any particular sports, it will be directly association with the power unit, that is the nation or the state, or let us say for example the club, etc., etc. So you are nobody, a single person is nobody, but he feels big when he identify himself with a big larger unit, and that is how this again works. So for that purpose, what you need to do, you just need to tell people time to time that how they are the part of the nation and how their support would give boost to their nation, and then automatically lunatically modern habit, ये जो घर में बैठे हुए people होते हैं, those who do seductory works, I mean those who never do hard work, neither they go to field for work, neither they share their hands at any factory work. Okay, CAs, teachers, all these people who sit there and just do their work, they want something to associate themselves with some large unit. Therefore, you will find nowadays there is a fashion. There will be large associations at the national level. There will be heavy fees to associate with that, like Rotary Club and all that. And then you people give money to them, and then you feel yourself proud that you are part of that one particular power unit. Okay, so this is one particular habit of modern people, which is cashed by all this mechanism of money, nationalism, and crowd. Okay, finally, the point that I had just made it here is also mentioned here. Look at it, the urban communities, जो लोग city में रहते हैं, where the average human being lives a sedentary, जो बैठ के काम करते हैं, those who never go out and give the full dedication, physical dedication to, they want to see something very physical there. So look at the popularity of WWE, for example, wrestling. What kind of pleasure do the people get from it? कौन से लोग हैं जिनको ये कोई इतना मार खा रहा है और उसके बाद भी प्लेजर आपको मिल रहा है? It is a very sadistic, isn't it? We find our pleasure by seeing somebody is beaten by chairs, and by throwing their body, and then savage things, what you can say, inhuman things are done with these people, and still we laugh, we enjoy it. This is because of what? We people sit at one place, and the rug in our body wants something to see something like that. Okay, we never go on grounds, we never go on the open fields, and therefore it, the demand of our body suits this mechanism again. Look at the structure. Okay, what mechanism? You associate yourself with the large units, that large unit is nationalism. Then on the name of nationalism there would be a crowd, that crowd would be given money, and money would be earned by these people. Okay, the thing is that this is how the modern sports arena work. Okay, which according to the writer again, because there is money and nationalism matters, therefore sporting spirit is compromised. He makes his point clear here also. Okay, here we shall stop today, and the rest of it we would be discussing in the next lecture. I hope that whatever is dealt with today is very much clear to you. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me.